and welcome to American Beer TV. We've got another great episode for you today. We've got some epic beer from Epic Brewing Company.
Now this is their Fermentation Without Representation. This is a collaboration beer with DC Brau.
Imperial Pumpkin Porter.
Yeah, so that says fall all over it. It's October. So this is actually, as you know, we always kind of try to check out on the batch. We check out the release. This appears to be release number 6 from what we can tell, which was brewed on August 10th, 2012, packaged on August 21st, 2012. And this is the first release of this beer for 2012. Right. I have the entire grain bill here. Not proportions, but malts. There's a lot of malts in this. Mutton, Maris Otter, Brice 2-row, Brewers malt. This is Brice 2-row. Crystal, Munich malt, Type 1 light, Brice 2-row chocolate malt, and Weyermann's Carafa 3. Oh. It's made with nugget, puree, and Tettnang hops. Yeah. And it's got pumpkin, vanilla bean, allspice, nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger, and cloves. And it's 8%. So I do love.
There's a lot going on.
I love how Epic records that information on their Exponential series. I think that's just so cool. So we've got an Imperial Pumpkin Porter. And not only is it a pumpkin beer, it's a porter. But is pumpkin porter. I don't think I've had a pumpkin porter
there's
before.
No actual pumpkin flesh in here, though. Like the
it says it's made with pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
It says it's made with pumpkin. Yeah. It was the first of the spices. It
doesn't really take much pumpkin, though. I mean, it's more of the pumpkin spices.
It's more of the pumpkin spices, yeah. Right. Pumpkin doesn't have a tremendous amount of flavor, but, you know, especially if you roast it and you caramelize it,
yeah,
there's a lot of different ways that you can do the pumpkin. And it also depends. I've seen people make mistakes and use, you know, after Halloween or whatever, they use the big pumpkins that you would use to carve up.
The smaller
you want to use a pumpkin pie pumpkin. So there's a tremendous difference on how you do it. I went berserk last time I did a pumpkin beer.
I really like the nose on this beer.
It's got a really spicy.
Yeah,
but I think it's spicy.
Yeah, it is spicy,
clean.
But it's really clean.
Yeah,
it doesn't have that like funky. It doesn't have any like Belgianish notes. Nope. It doesn't have those funky sweetness. It doesn't have any of those weird off notes.
I mean, I'm getting a little bit of roasted malts.
Too. Yeah. Get the malt, definitely.
Definitely getting, and it seems to me almost more of a, you know, the cinnamon, a little bit of cinnamon, nutmeg, but it's really kind of like the peppery, spicy version of it. You know, cinnamon can be like really pungent and spicy, or people blend it with the sugar, and then it's like this really cinnamony sweet. We're not getting the cinnamony sweet in this. We're getting the pungent nutmeg, really fresh, spicy.
Taste it.
Just gonna taste it. Cheers. Wow.
Ooh. Way more complexities in the palate than it is in the nose. As long as you get that, like, you know, all the flavors that we just explained. Now, when you get on the palate, you really get that roasted malt flavor comes through.
Lots of roasted malt.
And all of those spices that they talked about come through.
Yeah, it's really pretty
one
creamy.
By one, they just kind of go down the line. You get all these weird spice characters.
It's creamy. But one of the things that's really interesting about this, there's no sweetness. None. This is kind of a beer with all these spices you would expect there to be quite sweet.
It still has a ton of body.
It has, yeah, it does have a ton of body.
Yeah, don't get those two confused.
It's creamy. I think this has been a continuing thing with Epic beers. They continue to make beers that you expect to be sweet. The Brainless on cherries, Brainless on peaches, this one, their pumpkin beer. You expect them to be sweet, and they are not, and they're just very, very dry.
Even the Big Bad Baptist isn't like a really sweet.
No,
even 11%, it's not a really sweet beer. It's got tons of coffee and cocoa, but it's not a really sweet beer.
Right, and so you expect these beers to have quite an array of sweetness because it's what we've been accustomed to, and they're not. They're really, this is really, really dry, and the more I analyze it, the spices are in there, but it's different because almost every time we taste those spices, every time we taste vanilla, every time we taste cinnamon and nutmeg and all these spices put together, especially with pumpkin, we do it in the context of a sweet context.
Mm-hmm.
We're never
because
really.
It's always in a creamy dessert or something, or
Yeah.
a custard like pie or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it's masked by all that sugar.
Yeah, we never get to taste.
But malt
dry aspect
itself,
of it.
yeah, but malt itself has a sweet flavor to it.
It does,
like, naturally.
right? But then,
But it's not necessarily sweet,
right?
Like you're saying. But that flavor is there. Like any malty beer is gonna have a sweetness to it. It's not necessarily that it's
the vanilla's
sugary
there.
sweet.
The vanilla's there in a
awesome.
creaminess.
I think this is, through this year, I think this is my favorite pumpkin beer.
Yeah, I mean it's really good. It's very complex, and even if you don't like pumpkin beers, if you don't like pumpkin beers and you don't like the pumpkin pie spices and you don't like all that stuff,
It doesn't taste like pumpkin pie.
No.
Though.
give this one a shot. If you are a devout pumpkin beer hater, check this one out. And if you do love your pumpkin beers, there's still something a little new here for you.
Yeah, this beer's awesome. So
I love this beer.
If you find it, get it. I know we're doing this. We're doing this mid-October.
Mid-October, so this is the perfect time for this.
Yeah.
This one did come out.
I think they released it though at the end of September, beginning of October.
This one they released on August 21st.
Oh, that's when they released it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was brewed on August 10th, released on August 21st. And then
I didn't get this till later.
And then there's two other series. This is release 6, we think. But then there's also a release 7 and a release 8. So they've done two more batches since August. So there should be quite a bit out there. So really, really good.
Go for it.
Cheers, guys.
Find it, get it, drink it. Cheers.